There's a quiet kind of wisdom that comes with growing older. Not just the kind we pass down to others, but the kind we begin to whisper to ourselves. It tells us that life doesn't need to be complicated. That peace doesn't come from having more. It comes from having less and needing less. Less noise, less clutter, less of what doesn't matter, and more of what does. By the time we reach our late 60s, many of us begin to feel this shift. The drawers that once held just in case items feel heavy. The closets we used to pack with someday clothes start to feel like they belong to someone else. The shelves, the bins, the extras, we start seeing them for what they are, not just things, but distractions. Barriers between us and the simplicity we crave. So today, we're going to walk together through 6 household items that you might want to let go of before you turn 70. Not out of obligation, not out of pressure, but out of love. Love for the space you live in. Love for the peace you deserve. Love for the people who may one day have to sort through what you leave behind. And love for the version of yourself that longs to live these next years lighter. These are not just about cleaning. They're about clearing, so you can breathe easier, move more freely, and rest more deeply. Before we begin, let me gently invite you. If this message speaks to you, if you've ever looked around your home and thought, maybe it's time, please subscribe. Or send this to someone else who may need a soft nudge, a companion on the road to living with less. Let me ask you gently, have you ever opened a closet and felt tired before you even touched a hanger? Or looked at a drawer and closed it again because the thought of sorting through it just felt like too much? You're not alone. We all carry more than we need. And the years have a way of teaching us that the things we once thought we couldn't live without might be exactly what's keeping us from living more fully now. So let's start small, just one step at a time. These 6 categories aren't about getting rid of your life. They're about reclaiming it, making space for joy, for clarity, for ease. Let's begin. Let's begin with something most of us hold on to far longer than we need to: clothing. Closets are curious places. They hold not just fabric, but memories. Dresses from weddings long past. Suits from a job we left years ago. Sweaters that used to fit better. Jackets we've outgrown, not just in size, but in season. And yet, we hold on. We say, I might wear that someday. Or, it still has plenty of life in it. We tell ourselves stories. That the clothes still matter. That they still define us. But the truth is, if you're nearing 70 and your closet still holds garments you haven't touched in 5, 10, even 15 years, then maybe it's time to ask, why? Why are we keeping them? Why are we letting them take up space? And what might happen if we let them go? Because seniors with peaceful homes and peaceful minds tend to have one thing in common. Their wardrobes match the life they're living now, not the life they lived 20 years ago. They've let go of the suits that no longer serve a retired rhythm. They've released the heels or dress shoes that now pinch instead of lift. They've passed on the formal wear that no longer fits the softness of their days. What remains is ease. Clothes that feel good on the body. Clothes that are worn often, appreciated deeply, and folded with care. Let me ask you gently, what's in your closet right now that hasn't seen daylight in years? What's hanging there that no longer fits, in size or in spirit? Now, this doesn't mean you throw everything out. It doesn't mean you let go of the coat that reminds you of your wedding anniversary or the sweater your grandchild picked out. Sentimental pieces have their place, but daily clutter does not. Choose 3 items. Just 3. Today, remove them, thank them for the role they played, and release them, whether to a donation center, to someone in need, or simply to the past. And then breathe. Notice the space that returns, not just in your closet, but in your mind. If you've already begun this journey, or if you've struggled with it, share in the comments. What item was hardest to let go of? Or which one surprised you once it was gone? And if this habit speaks to something stirring in you, if you feel a quiet tug to simplify your wardrobe and make peace with the season you're in, please subscribe. Or share this video with someone whose closet might be full, but whose spirit may be longing for less. Because the truth is, Our clothes are not who we are, but clearing them out can help us remember who we've become. Stay with me. The next category might be even heavier because it's not about fabric. It's about the objects we keep in drawers, basements, or boxes that we haven't opened in years. Let's keep going. Let's walk into the kitchen for a moment, the heart of the home, as many call it. It's where coffee is brewed in the quiet of early morning, where soup simmers on cold evenings, where laughter sometimes echoes off countertops. And yet, over the years, it also becomes one of the most cluttered corners of our lives. Because the truth is, kitchens are magnets for more than we need. If you're nearing 70, open one of your drawers, or a cupboard above the stove. What do you see? Duplicate spatulas, mismatched plastic containers, that electric fondue pot from the 1980s that hasn't seen daylight since your last big New Year's party, cookie cutters you don't remember buying, knives you don't trust anymore, that juicer someone gifted you that's been used once. It happens slowly. A gift here, a purchase there, something we plan to use one day. And now, the drawers stick, the shelves creak, the items multiply while our needs grow simpler. Seniors with clear, calm kitchens understand this. You don't need a drawer full of gadgets to prepare a good meal. They've pared it down. They use the same favorite pan, the same wooden spoon, the same sturdy cutting board. They have a few bowls that stack neatly, glasses that all match, and silverware that fits the life they live now, not the dinner parties they hosted 30 years ago. Let me ask you gently, how many things in your kitchen do you actually use in a given week? What hasn't been touched in a year or 5? And more importantly, how would it feel to open your cupboards and see only what's needed, trusted, and used? You don't have to declutter the entire kitchen at once. Start with a drawer, one shelf. Pull out the duplicate tools, the chipped mugs, the rusting cheese grater. Ask yourself, have I used this in the last 2 years? If the answer is no, it's likely not serving you anymore. Release it. Give it away. Free the space. Because a simpler kitchen is not just easier to clean. It's easier to be in. It welcomes you. It doesn't overwhelm you. It lets the act of preparing food feel like a ritual again, not a struggle. And as our bodies change and our energy ebbs and flows, ease becomes essential. If you've already simplified your kitchen, I'd love to hear in the comments. What item was easiest to let go of? And what did you keep because it brings you joy? Or if you're just starting this process, what's the one kitchen item you know it's time to say goodbye to? And if this idea feels freeing, if the thought of opening a drawer and not feeling burdened sparks something in you, please subscribe. Or share this video with a friend who may still be cooking with clutter and not realize how much it's stealing from their peace. Because a clean kitchen doesn't require more tools. It requires fewer distractions. Stay close. Our next step will take us into a part of the home where the heaviest items aren't physical, but emotional. What we find there may surprise you. Let's continue. This one may be the hardest of all, not because it's heavy in your hands, but because it's heavy in your heart. Every home has a drawer, a box, a shelf, or perhaps an entire closet where the sentimental things live. Birthday cards from years ago, a faded high school diploma, a stack of letters from someone who's no longer here, trinkets from vacations, childhood drawings from your now-grown children, maybe even clothes from a spouse long past. These items meant something once, and in many cases, they still do. But over time, sentiment can quietly become burden, especially when it piles into corners we no longer visit, especially when it holds more dust than memory, especially when we find ourselves keeping things not because they bring us peace, but because we're afraid of what it might mean to let them go. But let me share something you may already know, deep in your bones. You don't have to keep everything to honor every memory. The seniors who seem lightest, emotionally and spiritually, aren't the ones who've forgotten the past. They're the ones who've chosen what to carry forward with care and what to gently release. They keep a few treasures, a favorite photo, a single handwritten letter, a pressed flower from a meaningful day. These remain in places of honor, not piles of overwhelm. They've learned that memories live inside them, not inside boxes. Let me ask you, tenderly, what do you have tucked away right now that hasn't been looked at, read, touched, or truly felt in years? What is being kept out of guilt, not gratitude? You don't need to discard it all. That's not the point. But maybe today is the day to open one box, to read one letter, to hold one thing and ask, does this still serve my spirit? Do I keep this because it brings me comfort, or because I'm afraid to let it go? Sometimes, releasing doesn't mean forgetting. It means freeing. Freeing yourself from the clutter of the past, so you can more fully live the present. And here's a quiet truth. Your children, your grandchildren, they don't need 100 saved things to feel your love. What they need is you, your stories, your voice, your presence. If you've walked this path already, if you've let go of something sentimental and found peace waiting on the other side, share it in the comments. Or if you're still holding on and not sure how to begin, let us walk with you in this space. There's no shame here, only gentle encouragement. And if this message touched something tender, please subscribe. Or send this to someone who may be overwhelmed by their own boxes and bags of memory, quietly asking for permission to choose less. Because letting go of the object doesn't mean losing the love. It means trusting that the love will remain, even when the drawer is empty. Stay with me. In the next habit, we'll walk into a different kind of clutter, one that sits out in the open and yet often goes unnoticed. One that, when cleared, makes space not only in your home, but in your energy. Let's continue. Sometimes, the heaviest things in our homes aren't in the drawers or closets. They're right out in the open. Furniture we no longer use, decorations that no longer feel like us, rooms that feel more like storage than spaces we enjoy. And yet, they stay, not because they serve us, but because they've always been there. That oversized armchair in the corner that no one sits in anymore. The buffet table we once used for big dinners that haven't happened in a decade. The curio cabinet full of knickknacks that collects more dust than joy. The framed artwork that once felt exciting, but now seems out of place. We don't talk about it much, but decor, just like clothing, has seasons. And many of us are still living in homes full of yesterday's seasons, long after our hearts and bodies have moved on. But seniors who live in calm, harmonious spaces, they've made peace with this truth. A home isn't a museum. It's a living space. And living means evolving, changing, choosing what fits the life you're living now, not the one you built around years ago. Let me ask you gently, what's in your home right now that no longer brings you peace? What furniture do you walk around, but never use? What decorative pieces no longer reflect the person you are today? Clearing these things isn't always easy. Some pieces carry stories. That rocking chair held your children. That table hosted Thanksgiving. That shelf came from your parents' home. But here's the question worth asking. Does the object carry the memory, or do you? Because you can honor a memory without holding onto the item forever. And more than that, when you release what no longer fits, you make room for breathing, for openness, for ease of movement, for comfort and clarity. Imagine your living room with only the pieces you use. Imagine walking without weaving around a bulky chair. Imagine seeing only decor that makes you smile now, not just decor that once did. You don't have to do it all today, but perhaps choose one thing, just one piece that no longer serves your home's energy. Ask yourself if someone else could use it more, if it might find a new purpose in a different space. Then let it go. You may be surprised how the room shifts, not just physically, but emotionally. And if you've already done this, downsized, rearranged, or reimagined your space, share what that experience was like in the comments. What changed in the way you felt at home? Or if you're ready to start, what's the one item you're thinking about releasing? And if this message stirred something in you, something that wants to move, shift, or open, please subscribe. Or send it to someone who's living with too much out of habit and might need this gentle reminder. Because homes should change with us. And letting go of what no longer fits is not loss. It's love. Love for the version of yourself that you are now. Love for the life you still want to live. In the next step, we'll turn to a part of the home that may surprise you. One that's easy to overlook, but when cleared, creates an almost immediate sense of lightness. Let's keep going. There's something so subtle, so quiet, about this next category of clutter that many people don't even realize how much it's weighing down their home and their spirit. Linen closets. Towels tucked into the back of cabinets. Sheets stacked high. Pillowcases you haven't matched in years. Quilts stored in bins just in case. Tablecloths for tables you no longer set. Bedspreads for guest beds no one has slept in since the kids moved out. These items don't make noise. They don't take up space in the center of the room, but they fill corners, drawers, shelves. And the truth is, many seniors hold on to far more of these items than they'll ever need again. And yet, they remain. Because linens are the kind of thing we think we should keep. What if I host guests? What if there's an emergency? What if I need extra someday? But here's what the calmest, clearest homes have shown us. Most people only use the same 3 or 4 sets of sheets, the same favorite towels, the same cozy blanket again and again. And the rest? They sit, they age, they fade, they yellow, they grow stale, untouched. Let me ask you, kindly, when was the last time you used those extra hand towels at the bottom of the stack? Or the 3rd set of flannel sheets stored in the hallway closet? When was the last time someone came to stay who needed that 5th extra pillow? You don't have to live with less to be more efficient. You have to live with what fits your real life now. If you're retired, if you no longer have a full house every holiday, if your needs have become more gentle and manageable, then let your home reflect that. Let your shelves hold only what's useful and beautiful. Give the extra to shelters, to charities, to someone starting fresh. Let those linens live again, instead of sitting in the dark, folded but forgotten. Try this. Today, take 10 minutes and open your linen closet. Pull out one pile. Ask, when did I last use this? If you can't remember, it may be time to release it. Keep 2 good sets of sheets for each bed. A few towels for you and your guests. The blanket that warms you in the evening, not the one you haven't touched in a decade. And then breathe in the space you've just given yourself. The ease of knowing exactly what you have. The freedom of not having to dig through piles just to find the towel you love. If you've already done this, share your experience in the comments. What surprised you? What did you finally feel ready to part with? And if you're just starting, what's the first item you'll let go of? And if this idea feels like something you've needed to hear, please subscribe. Or share this with someone whose closet has quietly become a museum of old linens and unused things. Someone who might be longing for less without knowing where to begin. Because we don't need to keep everything to feel prepared. We only need to keep what truly supports the life we live now. Our final step next will bring all of this together, not just as a cleaning task, but as a hard decision. Let's finish this journey with kindness, clarity, and care. Stay with me. Now let's take a gentle walk into the corners we rarely think about. Bathroom drawers, hallway cabinets, under sink baskets. Spaces filled with tiny items we've been meaning to sort through, but somehow never do. Old shampoo bottles, half-used lotions, expired medications, lipsticks we didn't like, samples we thought we'd try, hairsprays from a hairstyle we no longer wear. That jar of cream we bought because someone said it would work wonders 3 years ago. They're small, easy to forget, and that's what makes them so persistent. They hide in plain sight, quietly gathering, quietly aging, until one day we open a cabinet and feel a wave of something we can't quite name, clutter, fatigue, maybe even guilt. But here's what the wisest, most peacefully kept homes have in common. They don't allow these tiny things to pile up. They let them go, kindly and regularly. Because clearing expired or unused personal products is not just about space. It's about respect. Respect for your skin, respect for your safety, and most of all, respect for your present self. Let me ask you gently, what's sitting in your bathroom right now that you haven't touched in months or years? When was the last time you checked the dates on the medicine in your cabinet? How many tubes, bottles, or jars are crowding your drawers that no longer reflect your needs. Start today with just one shelf. Pick up each item. Ask, do I use this? Do I trust this? Is this still good for me? If it's expired, dispose of it. If it's untouched, consider giving it to someone who might use it, if appropriate. And if it's simply no longer part of who you are, release it. Let that space breathe again. Because when you open your cabinets and see only what you need, what you use, and what makes you feel cared for, your whole body relaxes. It's not about having less. It's about having what's right. And that, my friend, is a kind of freedom that only grows more precious with age. If you've ever done this small act, cleared your bathroom or medicine cabinet, share your experience in the comments. What did you discover? What changed? And if this is a step you've been meaning to take, tell us where you'll start. We'll be cheering you on. And if this message has helped you see those small bottles and tubes in a new light, please subscribe. Or pass this along to someone who may be holding on to more than they need, simply because no one reminded them that it's okay to let go. Because dignity lives in the details. And the space you create in a drawer can create space in your day, in your routine, your mind, your mirror. Now let us close with a final reflection, one that brings all 6 categories into something greater than organizing, something more lasting than a clean shelf. Let's finish this journey with clarity, peace, and a renewed sense of what it truly means to live simply and joyfully in the years ahead. Stay with me. So here we are. We've walked gently through 6 parts of the home that often grow heavy with time. Not all at once, but slowly, quietly. A coat here, a drawer there, a box of memories, a cabinet of forgotten items. And now, maybe, you're seeing it all a little differently. Not as a burden to be tackled, but as an invitation to breathe more freely, to live with less and feel more. Because before you turn 70, or whatever age you are right now, you have a beautiful chance, not just to clear out things, but to clarify what matters. You've earned a life of ease, of space, of knowing where things are, and knowing you actually want them there. And every drawer you tidy, every extra towel you give away, every item you release from your closet or cabinet or shelf, is a way of saying, I honor the life I'm living today. I'm not saving things for someday. I'm not decorating for the person I used to be. I am making room for now. Let me ask you, one last time, what's calling to you most from what we shared? Is it the clothes you no longer wear? The kitchen gadgets long untouched? The sentimental boxes waiting to be opened, blessed, and lightened? The linen stacked high for guests who no longer come? The decor that no longer reflects the spirit of your home? The bathroom items you forgot were even there? Pick one, just one. And begin, not with guilt, not with rush, but with gentleness. Because this isn't about cleaning house. This is about clearing space for joy, for clarity, for calm. Your home is the place where your life unfolds, and you deserve to live in it lightly, freely, with room to breathe and room to be. If this journey has stirred something in you, if you feel ready to begin again, even in a small way, leave a comment. What will you let go of this week? What part of your home are you ready to meet with new eyes? And if this message helped you feel less alone in that process, please subscribe. Or send it to someone whose home might be holding more than they need. Someone who may just need this quiet encouragement to begin. Because decluttering isn't about getting rid of a life. It's about making space for the one you still have to live. Thank you for walking this path with me. With every drawer you empty, may you find a little more room for peace. With every item you release, may you feel just a bit more free. Until next time, keep letting go with love and keep choosing the life that fits you now.